traveled around the world with Xander Bogaerts, said the WBC experience was really fun and better than he expected. He said the first time he was so young, and this time he knew what to expect, he knew how to prepare, and that guys looked up to him this time. He said it was really special being able to play with guys that he grew up with in Aruba, and that he learned a lot. He also said that even though he was playing third base, he still got in his work at shortstop every day, and that he feels more prepared this year than he usually does at this time due to the high level of play of the WBC, and that he had to bring his A game every night.
Last year, Bogaerts hit .294 in 157 games for the Red Sox, made his first All-Star appearance. You see his numbers at the bottom in the World Baseball Classic, where he went 5 for 22, scoring 5 runs. The Red Sox are home. We're just a week away from moving north, and Jerry Remy is back in the booth. All is well in Red Sox Nation. First pitch coming up next.
It's the final days to
Spring training game on Nesset is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. JetBlue Park in Fort Myers, Florida, where the Red Sox are wrapping up the penultimate weekend of the Grapefruit League season. Most people have been running on the beach, Jerry, since the beginning of spring training. February, they were running on the beach.
Well, it beats running in the snow.
No question about that. John Farrell and the Red Sox ready to go here as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's check out the Phillies lineup as we have Interleague, Grapefruit League baseball for you this afternoon. Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, leading off. Chris Coughlin, the left fielder. Odubel Herrera, the center fielder. Tommy Joseph at first. Aaron Altair is the right fielder. Andres Blanco is the third baseman. Cameron Rupp behind the plate. Pedro Florimon is the shortstop. And Brian Holiday is the designated hitter. On the mound for the Red Sox will be Kyle Kendrick, certainly the surprise story of spring training for the Sox, as he will make his 7th appearance of spring training, a 1.96 earned run average. He had a 16-inning scoreless streak into the second inning of Tuesday's game up in Tampa against the Yankees. Had it snapped then, but he has been nothing short of outstanding for the Sox.
The defense today for the Red Sox, Brock Holt will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, and Mitch Moreland, the first baseman. Left to right, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts. And doing the catching for Kendrick will be Sandy Leone.
Well, Jerry, I think these spring training games, we do not have SAP. We don't have the Spanish function, but I'd love you to give us a good afternoon anyway.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Now we've got baseball for you here in spring training. Xander Bogaerts back from the World Baseball Classic. How great is it to see him back at shortstop for the Red Sox?
Yeah, he's already been tested, hasn't he, TC? You know, going through that WBC, some highly competitive games obviously being played there. And now it's a matter of just getting caught up with the Red Sox fundamentals, how they do their drills, how they do their cutoffs and reliefs. relays. I mean, they know that, but he just needs a refresher course.
What about the travel that Netherlands team had? They started in Korea, went to Tokyo before coming back to the West Coast.
And he actually said he felt pretty good the first day he reported to Red Sox spring training.
But it's always 2 days after, isn't it? As Kyle Kendrick gets you started. And we are underway here on a sunny afternoon in Southwest Florida. I know it's warming up a little bit back home and a little rainy as well. As Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, leads off. And 1-1 is the count from Kendrick. Last season, Hernandez really established himself as an important infielder for this team, hitting .294 in 155 games for the Phillies last year. He was a guy signed originally as a free agent, undrafted in 2006, and now for 2 straight years he's been a big part of their infield.
He has been. I think the one thing they like to see him cut down on is the strikeouts. 116 strikeouts last season, and of course he's sitting in that leadoff spot here today.
2-1 the count from Kendrick here. Fouled off on the right side, and it's 2-2.
You were talking about Kendrick in back-to-back 5-inning performances for him. One against Tampa Bay, one against Baltimore. And he really has been a surprise here in spring training. Former Philly, a guy that the Red Sox are looking at as depth in their starting rotation in case there is some type of an injury.
The 2-2 fouled back. Well, you've already got David Price on the DL. I mean, he's going to start the season not ready to go. And there were some questions about Drew Pomeranz. Now, yesterday, after a rough couple of innings, it kind of clicked in. He got 7 of the last 8 batters he faced. But if anything causes Pomeranz to be delayed, Kendrick would be the next man up.
I would agree with you.
Swing and a miss, and Kendrick strikes out Hernandez to begin the day.
Looked like a split-fingered fastball that time from Kendrick as he throws it down. You can see it down and dip away from Hernandez to pick up the first strikeout of the afternoon here at JetBlue Park. And he's been doing that regularly. You know, he's not an overpowering pitcher. Fastball tops out about 88, 89. He's got that breaking ball, the split-fingered fastball.
And that'll bring up Chris Coughlin. Coughlin fighting for a job here, and it's one of the interesting stories in Phillies camp. I mean, a year ago, this guy is the starting right fielder in Game 1 of the World Series for the Chicago Cubs. Now he's signed as a minor league free agent. It's a ground ball to first base. Mitch Moreland is there. There's 2 quick outs.
Now the Red Sox, with Mitch Moreland at first base, certainly have a tremendous defensive first baseman. And that was not a difficult play, but he makes them all look pretty easy over there at first base. So he's certainly going to be a huge help for the Red Sox defensively. We'll get a lot of playing time as Hanley will do a lot of DHing. And, of course, Moreland at first base. But infielders love throwing to him over at first base. They know that he can save a lot of errors.
Gold Glove winner last year with the Texas Rangers. My pick to click, Jerry.
Pick to click.
Called it back in the winter. I think he's got that opposite field swing at Fenway Park. And he actually hit lefties pretty well last year. And they've talked about having him not play a lot against lefties. But Hanley Ramirez's shoulder is still an issue. So it may be Moreland every day at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and they want to get Hanley back at first base at some point before camp ends. But that has not happened yet.
Odubel Herrera, the center fielder for the Phillies, and it's 1-1 from Kendrick. Made the All-Star team in the National League last year. First Phillies everyday center fielder to make the All-Star team since Shane Victorino back in 2011. Having a good camp, hitting .346 in spring training play for the Phillies. Ground ball again to Moreland, ranges to his left, little backhand play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kendrick. 2 nice plays there by Moreland, and the Red Sox come to bat at the bottom of the first, scoreless here in Fort Myers. Blue Park, we are scoreless as the Red Sox come to bat for the first time tonight. Dustin Pedroia, Andrew Benintendi, Mookie Betts, Hanley Ramirez, Mitch Moreland, Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr., Sandy Leon, Brock Holt, your lineup to begin the day as they go up against Alec Asher. The 25-year-old righty for the Phillies gets a called strike one to begin the day against Dustin Pedroia. Asher, acquired from Texas in 2015, an 8-player deal that was essentially the Cole Hamels deal. Last year, had an 80-game suspension for PED use, so an important half-year development lost. But when he came back, he really put together a good second half. It was called up in September by the Phillies. Had a 2.28 ERA in 5 appearances, 5 starts for the Phillies down the stretch, and pitched himself into the picture. A depth guy here, probably, you know, first or second guy up from their AAA team, Lehigh Valley. 3-1 the count now to Pedroia.
Yeah, every time he's missed two to Dustin, it's been away from Pedroia. One thing I noticed about Dustin this spring, he has swung at more first pitches than we normally see him do. Got a good count right here, 3-1.
And he drives this one high to deep short. Drifting back is Floriman, the shortstop, and make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Let's look at the Phillies defense. Andres Blanco will be at third base. Pedro Floriman, the shortstop. Cesar Hernandez at second, and Tommy Joseph, the first baseman. Left to right, Chris Coughlin, Odubel Herrera, and Aaron Altar. And Cameron Rupp doing the catching for Asher.
And Andrew Benintendi will step up, batting second in the lineup today, and it looks like, Jerry, that's where he'll be to start the season.
I would agree with you. That's something that started to take shape here about a week ago. John Farrell getting what he considers his top hitters at the top of the lineup, and that's Pedroia, Benintendi, and Betts. Obviously, the more you get them up in a game, you might get that 5th at bat in a game instead of just 4.
We talked in the open about Xander Bogaerts. Are you surprised that they're keeping him as low as they are in the 6th spot?
I'm not, Tom. And, you know, you asked me about that prior to the ball game today, and I think that's a place that he'll relish because he'll have more RBIs opportunities in that position.
3-pitch strikeout. Benintendi didn't like it on the call, 3rd strike. So Asher gets his first strikeout of the afternoon.
That's the 7th time this spring that Benintendi has struck out, and he questions that call. Looked like a little comeback back to the inside corner for the strikeout that time.
So 2 down for Mookie Betts, hitting .316 this spring. Suppose there's nothing Mookie Betts does that surprises us anymore. Can run out and bowl a 300 in between games, no problem.
Play a little ping pong if you'd like.
Boy, he's pretty good in there. Although you have a pretty good scouting report on most of these guys. You've been watching this closely.
I've been watching a lot of ping pong over the last 3 weeks.
You can't help it. It's right in the middle of the clubhouse when you walk in.
Yeah, more ping pong than baseball, really.
One more sign that it's still spring training, but not far away from the real thing. 2-1 the count to Betts. There's Pedroia, king of the ping pong table, as he sends this one high. Betts does. Altair charging in from right field. He's got to keep after it as the wind blew it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Asher. So another big crowd here on a sunny afternoon in Florida. We're scoreless after 1. Phillies in the second inning here at JetBlue Park. Fans of all ages enjoying a sunny afternoon and some baseball. Tommy Joseph leading off for the Phillies. Joseph, the first baseman. Great rookie year last season. Led all National League rookies in a couple of categories and was top 10 in most of them. Third of all National League rookies with 21 home runs. Home number foul. Quickly 0-2 for Kendrick, who likes to keep hitters on their toes, Jerry. He doesn't mess around.
No, Red Sox have quite a few guys, quite a few pitchers that really work quickly. We're going to see Chris Sale in the ball game tomorrow, and he's another guy that really throws very quickly. Gets the ball right back on the rubber, and pretty much the same thing with Kendrick.
The 0-2 from Kendrick. Misses outside. Tommy Joseph 2 years ago dealt with concussion symptoms, spent a lot of time on the DL. Came back last year with that good rookie season, played 107 games for the Phillies after being called up from Lehigh Valley, where he had the highest batting average and OPS in the International League. 2-2 the count.
And fastball getting up to 91 miles an hour that time, so he's been 88, 89, and as high as 91 so far with the fastball early in the ball game.
Joseph, originally drafted by the Giants, was acquired in the Hunter Pence deal back in 2012. And from an 0-2 count, he works it back full. So 2014 began his run in the organization, and that was Kendrick's last year in the organization. Kendrick gets a called third strike on the outside corner. And so there's one down here in the second inning. Good pitch from Kendrick.
Yeah, he was completely fooled by that, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and he goes to the breaking ball, and you see Leone, he gives that little tap that's inside, making the hitter think that the ball's going to be on the inside part of the plate. Instead, they go with the breaking ball away, and that completely fooled Joseph.
And the pitch framing, the presentation, as we call it now in baseball, Leone does it pretty well, Jerry.
Yeah, he does it very well. Both Red Sox catches, Vasquez and Leone, do it very, very well.
First pitch swinging. Holt is there, gets it across to Moreland in time. One pitch in the second out of the inning. Fantasy baseball is back. Visit NESN.com/fantasy for the latest news, lineup advice, and more. Go to yahoo.com/fantasy-baseball to join a season-long Yahoo Fantasy Baseball League or to build your own. Sign up today. So 2 down here as Andres Blanco comes to the plate. Kendrick has retired the first 5 Phillies he has faced. Blanco, 32 years old now. Fouls this off on the right side.
A lot of good movement on that fastball right there, turning it down and away from Blanco, and instead of trying to go to the opposite field with it, tried to pull that ball, and very quickly in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. And as that happens, the outfield shifts. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field shifting over to the opposite field with the count 0-2.
Kendrick deals to his former Philly teammate. Blanco gets out of the way inside. 2 years ago, Kendrick was the opening day starter for the Colorado Rockies. This is a guy who might have been on the back end of some of those Philly rotations, but those rotations were really good. You had Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay and a lot of pitching talent in Philadelphia.
We had a good shot there of Bradley in center field, how he shifts his position from almost playing straight away in center field. Then when the count gets to 2 strikes, then you're going to get a little bit more defensive swing, you would expect. That's why they shade a little bit more toward left field with a left-handed hitter at the plate.
And he stays there for the 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 3 strikeouts on the afternoon, and Kendrick has retired all 6 Phillies he has faced. Scoreless in the middle of the second. Bottom of the second here at JetBlue Park. No score. In fact, we haven't had a base runner yet. Kyle Kendrick and Alec Asher are off to good starts. Kendrick's been real good, 25 pitches. He's retired all 6 Phillies he has faced. Hanley Ramirez leading off the second for the Red Sox. Terrific spring training, hitting .318, 3 homers, 13 RBI. Swings at the first pitch. A high pop-up. Charging in is Hernandez, the second baseman. He calls everybody off. Has to come up and over the mound. And he does so to make the catch. This Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics tickets. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS to treat someone special to a game now.
You know, to see that, you mentioned a pretty nice play by Hernandez, the second baseman. I mean, a lot to deal with there. You've got the breeze that's blowing the ball back toward the third base side. Then he starts climbing that mound. And when you start climbing the mound, you can see how you stumble a little bit. Your head starts to bobble. Not as easy as it looks.
You speak from experience?
Yeah, those infielders, they hate to climb that mound.
Well, as a second, and you were a second baseman, I mean, that's the toughest angle of all because you're charging right to the mound.
Yeah, plus he's got that breeze today blowing at his back, blowing the ball away from him.
All right, here's Mitch Moreland, 361 with a homer and 14 RBI this spring. We all knew how good he'd be defensively, Jerry, but he's having a great run at the plate here in Grapefruit League play.
Yeah, you see the defense set up against him, too. They expect him to pull the ball on the ground in the infield, but we've seen him go to the opposite field in the air an awful lot.
And here he chops it foul. In fact, that's what they like about him. They think he's got a swing that could be tailor-made for Fenway Park going to the opposite field. It is a gorgeous day here in Southwest Florida once again. We try not to rub that in when we show you palm trees and tell you that it's 79 degrees. A little bit of a wind today, 20 miles an hour. And it's been windy here, Jerry, it seems, throughout spring training.
Yeah, especially the last 4 or 5 days in particular. It's been quite breezy. Supposed to get up to about 20 miles an hour this afternoon here at JetBlue, but very comfortable day.
2-1 the count here to Moreland. So yeah, it's interesting that they shift him to pull when, you know, the reports the Red Sox have is that he's a very competent opposite field hitter.
Well, you know, I've always said, and I'll continue to say it, I think that Fenway Park, and of course JetBlue Park, built for left-handed hitters because what it makes you do is keep your front shoulder on the ball. You have the ability to knock the ball off that left field wall at any time, you know, especially guys that have strength like Moreland. But the defense set up to pull on the ground, straight up.
And sure enough, he does pull it. The shift is there. The shortstop over on the right side of the bag comes up and makes the play. So that's Florimon in the shift. And there's 2 down here in the second.
Yeah, so that time the shift worked out perfectly for the Phillies, and that's what they expect. You know, if it's going to be on the ground, it's probably going to be pull side. Florimon doing a nice job diving, knocking it down, and finding it to throw Moreland out at first base.
So 2 down for Xander Bogaerts. He comes up the bat for the first time today. Our first game with him in the lineup since returning from the World Baseball Classic. He's only had 3 games, 10 at-bats here in Grapefruit League play. Hitting 4 for 10. As John Farrell told us before the game, Jerry, it's not like he hasn't been getting in his work. He's been playing baseball. It's not been a vacation.
And even the time that he would be at third base, obviously in the World Baseball Classic for the Netherlands, he would also work out at shortstop prior to the game, so he didn't lose his touch at shortstop.
2-1 the count to Bogaerts. Hard to believe that he is still only 24 years old. Already 2 Silver Slugger awards as a top hitting shortstop in the American League. And here he drives one deep short, but Florimon gets back there, throws a glove up, and makes the catch. So 1-2-3 inning for Asher. No score after 2 here at JetBlue Park as we've got some Phillies fans making the trip down from Clearwater. Top of the third here at JetBlue Park. No score, no hits, no base runners through 2 innings. Number 7 hitter for the Phillies leading off, Cameron Rupp. He's the catcher. Hitting 179 in Grapefruit League play. Last year hit 252 in 105 games as Phillies catcher. .16 homers was the 3rd most of any National League catcher in 2016. And it's quickly 0-2 to Rupp.
Once again, a lot of movement on that fastball, moving down and into the right-handed hitter, down and low below the knees. A good 2-seam fastball there by Kendrick.
The 0-2 just misses outside.
Very, very close. After going down and in, tried to find that outside part of the plate and just missed the outside corner.
One-two from Kendrick. Ground ball to short. Bogarts is there. Across to Moreland, 1 down here in the 3rd as we check in for the first time today with Garen Austin. Hey, Garen.
Thanks, DC. Just a quick few pitcher updates. David Price was checked out again today, and he showed signs of improved strength and played catch just to get his arm moving. Farrell said he'll remain in this phase for a while and still no timetable. Also, Tyler Thornburg threw 20 pitches in a minor league game yesterday. He felt fine afterward, and now he is scheduled to pitch in a game on Monday. And, guys, Farrell is still optimistic that he could be ready to start the season. And Jerry, must say, welcome back. Great to have you.
Oh, thank you, Garen. Very nice to be back, believe me.
You know, I think Garen's very excited that you're back. You know, we do the little check, the audio check during the commercial. I said, Garen, can you hear us okay? She said, yeah, Jerry, you sound great. And already she's forgotten about me. She's very excited about you. We're all happy to have Jerry back, Garen.
And TC, I could never forget about you.
Well, yeah, I'll make sure you don't. Here's a high fly ball to right field. Back is Betts drifting over, and he'll make the catch to retire Pedro Florman. 2 outs here in the 3rd.
I'd like to thank Garen and thank everybody for their well wishes through what was a trying 3 or 4 months in the offseason, and great to be back at the ballpark. Great to be back in the place that I feel most comfortable and just feeling fine. So as I said, you know, during the winter, see a doctor, early detection. That's my message.
Well, and Jerry, you know, I spoke with you at the time when you first sort of came public with the latest diagnosis, and the overwhelming support that came out in those days and weeks after must have meant a lot to you.
It really did, you know, and the fans have been so kind to me over 30 years, and the fact that you know, the state, they stand behind me, and it makes me feel real good. It's an extra little push.
That's great to have you in the booth, as that's outside there. Great to have you in the booth because you've been here for a little while and you've been going nuts not being able to call a game. He's been sitting here next to us for most of the first few innings.
For about 2 innings.
And you're not good at not doing anything.
It's you know, I've been down here about 3 weeks, and I was so glad to get back down here and get in this atmosphere of baseball again. You know, to change the feeling of everything, and it certainly made a huge difference for me to get down here and you know, just hanging around the guys and getting around the clubhouse. I've been up here every single day, and it just makes a big difference. And now to be able to get back and do the games, very exciting.
I've been asked by a lot of people, and I'll let you answer yourself. You feel good?
No, I feel great. I really do. You know, and I felt fine pretty much for quite a while now. So you know, if it was on my schedule to do games earlier, I would have been able to, but you know, we have a different little schedule here, and this was the first one that was scheduled for me to do.
Here's a base hit down the line. Holt dove, but he couldn't get to it. So the number 9 hitter, the former Red Sox catcher, Brian Holiday, gets the first hit of the game for either team, a 2-out double right down the left field line.
Yeah, absolutely nothing Brock Holt could do about that. It was hit too hard. Now, the ball is supposed to be away. You see where Leone is set up, but it stays inside. And then the Holt, who was fairly close to the line, had really no chance. A crossover step, a dive, and the ball gets by him. So a big 2-out double right there to get a man in scoring position with 2 outs.
And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter once again, Hernandez. And again, just to wrap that up, Jerry, so many people have said it on social media today. It is so great to have you back. This feels like Red Sox baseball again. It feels like the real season is getting closer with you back in the booth.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And, you know, one of the reasons I did go public, I could have been quiet about it, but the reason I did go public is I really want people to see their doctors. I mean, you know, if they catch stuff early, whatever it may be, cancer or other illnesses, you've got a much better chance.
Missing inside, so you'll be ready for opening day, which is now just 9 days away. We're finally getting close.
Let's hope the weather improves a little bit, warms up a little bit in Boston.
Yeah, have your coat ready, because it's Boston, then Detroit, then Boston again. You're not in a lot of warm weather climes to begin the season. One and one, the count, grounded right through the legs. Bogaerts gets over there behind the bag, and he gets it across to Moreland in time to retire the side. So Kendrick works around a double for Holiday, and we head to the bottom of the third, scoreless in Fort Myers. Still scoreless, bottom of the third here at JetBlue Park. Jackie Bradley Jr. up, looking to get on board, become the first base runner of the afternoon for the Red Sox. Asher misses outside. Bradley rather. Jackie Bradley Jr. hitting .214 as he shows bunt. Pulls it back in, takes ball 2.
You know, we've seen him try to do that a few times this spring. They play the shift on him in the infield where they have 3 players on the right side, and that brings the third baseman in on the grass to try to protect against the bunt.
And again, he shows it. This time he drops it down just foul.
Now, the one thing about that, TC, is you don't have to make a perfect bunt. You know, you've got so much room. You've got all green grass over there on that left side. And the only thing you don't want to do is bunt it back to the pitcher. If you can drop it anywhere on that green grass out there to the right of the pitcher, you got yourself a base hit. Now with 1 strike, they'll move back a little bit. Let's see if Jackie tries it again.
But Blanco still the only fielder on the left side of the bag.
Yep.
And again, he shows bunt. This time he pushes one down the third base side, and there it is, base hit, a bunt for Bradley. That's how you beat the shift, and you get the first run of the day.
Just exactly what we were talking about. You know, it's so inviting, and it's something that more players, in my opinion, should do. If they're going to give you a base hit, You can see right there, all he's doing is squaring around in a sacrifice position. It doesn't matter if he gives it away. From where they're playing, they've got no chance to get him out. So he makes the third baseman Blanco go a little bit to his right. He's got no chance at all to get Bradley. I love that.
Just smart baseball, right?
It is. If they're going to give it to you, take it.
And you hadn't had a base runner yet. Now you get a hit, you get a man on, and first pitch, Bradley going. Leon with a high chopper to second base, so 1 out, but now you've got a runner in scoring position on the hit and run.
Well, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of that from the bottom of the Red Sox lineup this year. You know, it's a lineup without David Ortiz, as we all know, and we're going to see different things happening. And when you're working to the bottom part of the lineup, you get that leadoff man on. Why not do something? Play a little hit and run. That time it was definitely had to be a hit and run because that ball was way outside and Leon taking a swing at it. Now it's a good thing he did because it was almost like a pitch out. So if it gets by him, they get Bradley at second base. Good job by Sandy Leon.
Now 1 down and a runner in scoring position for Brock Holt. Holt hitting .258 in spring action, playing third base today. Pablo Sandoval is across town. It's a split squad game. Obviously, most of the regulars are in this game, playing across town against the Minnesota Twins. And Asher will step off the mound. You take a look at what Pablo Sandoval has done this spring, having a terrific camp, hitting .362. There's a lefty pitcher on the mound in the other game. I'm sorry, I said across town in Minnesota. That's tomorrow. They're up in Tampa, right? They're up at where's Tampa? Port Charlotte. So they're at Port Charlotte. There's a line drive, soft line drive. Hernandez. You don't know? You're not sure?
No, I think they're in Port Charlotte, but there's no such thing as Port Charlotte, Tampa.
No.
It's Port Charlotte, Florida.
Yes, I said, where is Tampa? In Port Charlotte? This is getting very confusing. Tampa is actually north of Port Charlotte, but the Tampa Bay Rays, let's clear this up, are in Port Charlotte, and that is where the other half of the Red Sox are today.
Well, let's put it this way.
That better?
They're somewhere in Florida, and Sandoval's getting hit bats from the right side of the plate.
At the other ballpark. Charlotte.
Thank goodness we're not there and we're here.
Well, that's why we're not geography majors, or at least I'm not. So they're facing Blake Snell of the Tampa Bay Rays, who are in Port Charlotte, their spring training home, which, by the way, I never understood why they don't just have their spring training home in Tampa.
Exactly.
Or St. Pete. But they want him to get some right-handed at-bats here at spring training because he's switching again. He didn't for the better part of 2015 and was injured all of 2016. Hope that all made sense at some point. Dustin Pedroia. He doesn't care where the game is. Throw him a pitch. 1-0 the count. Make it 2-0. Holt had been playing a lot of shortstop with Bogarts gone to the World Baseball Classic. Now starting to move around some other infield positions, getting him ready for that super utility role. Play a little outfield as well. Be a little different for Holt this year, though. You know, he's getting time at first base when Hanley Ramirez. Now you've got Moreland there. You've got Sandoval back. It's going to be a little tougher to get him time. They're going to move him around, which is what his versatility allows.
Good job by Pedroia staying off that pitch. It's tempting because the count's 2-0 and he likes the ball inside, but that ball was a little bit too far inside for Dustin, and he's able to lay off it, count 3 balls and no strikes.
3-0 the count. And he walks him. So 2 on, 2 down here in the third inning. The sounds of spring training baseball are in the air, and before you know it, the sounds of the Plainridge Park Casino Fenway Concert Series will be in the air at Fenway Park. Limited tickets remain for James Taylor with Bonnie Raitt on August 11th. Get your tickets at redsox.com/James Taylor. Andrew Benintendi struck out looking back in the first inning, the only strikeout of the game so far for Asher. Each pitcher's given up 1 hit. We're scoreless with 2 down here in the bottom of the third. First pitch swinging, Benintendi fouls it up above us.
Now, Benintendi was not going to wait around to get a strike called on him. Went down by strikes last time, striking out back in the first inning, and first pitch swinging there with a man in scoring position.
Enters the year as the #1 prospect in all of baseball, according to Baseball America. Just 22 years old. Benintendi takes the ball.
Pretty good job blocking that ball, too, by Rupp, the Philly catcher, because that ball gets through the 5-hole. You're talking about 2 men in scoring position instead of 1.
The 1-2. Ground ball, first baseline, fair ball. That'll bring in Bradley as Benintendi delivers with a 2-out RBI single, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
See, this is what I like about what happened in this inning. The fact that they're working toward the bottom of the batting order. Jackie Bradley Jr., they're giving him a base hit, so he takes it. Immediately, they get a man on first base. Now, here's the topper right here that gets by the dive of Joseph at first base. He's trying to just knock the ball down and save a run. He can't do it. The run comes home, but I like the idea. I like what they did. Bradley dropping down the bunt with the shift on, trying a little hit and run, get him to second base, and then Benintendi gets the big base hit with 2 outs.
So men on the corners for Mookie Betts. Flied out to right field in the first inning. And it's down in the dirt. Runners started to advance and they retreat. Good block again by Rupp. Yeah,
very good play again by Rupp behind the plate as he saves a run that time, and that was not an easy pitch to block. Watch this ball bounce and where it bounces, and fortunately it came back a little bit toward Rupp and he takes it off the chest protector, but that's a heck of a play.
Now Rupp with a couple of good blocks here with 2 outs. Be 2-0 if he hadn't. Want to know the count to Betts.
It's like a throw to first base here.
Jerry Remy in mid-season form with the call of the pickoff move.
Yeah, a little bit surprising because I don't think they will run Benintendi here with Mookie at the plate. Now they could, but it would be surprising with 2 outs, I think, to see him go in this situation with Mookie up there.
The 1-0 ground ball to third. Gets by Blanco. That'll bring in a run. Pedroia scores. Benintendi to second base. And it's 2-0 Red Sox. A 2-out rally here in the third.
Make contact with the man on third base. Something good might happen. And that time, as soon as he started to back up with that top spin on the baseball, he was in big trouble. He's almost better off trying to front that ball than play it off to the side. How do they score that? A base hit?
They scored it a hit, at least on the scoreboard. It is a base hit,
Everything's a base hit. Everything's a base hit.
Spring training.
Yeah, in Florida, everything's a base hit. But even that position, you know, if Blanco makes the play on it at third base, I don't think he's going to throw Betts out at first base.
That's a good point. So even if he makes the play, he could have an infield single. Hanley Ramirez now. First pitch swinging. High pop up again. And again, the second baseman Hernandez under it. This time he doesn't have to deal with the mound as he makes the catch to end the inning. But the Red Sox, with 3 hits, take a 2-0 lead into the fourth here at JetBlue. Back here at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers, Florida. Top of the fourth, and the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead now for Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick has faced just one above the minimum. The 2-out double for Holiday in the third. The only base runner for the Phillies this afternoon. And strike one called here to Coughlin.
A lot of strike ones so far in this game for Kendrick.
Coughlin was the 2009 National League Rookie of the Year. But over the last couple of years, bounced around a little bit. Ground ball, second base. And 2-pitch out to begin the inning for Kendrick. Wally the Green Monster springs to life in this animated special, Wally's Opening Day, with humor the whole family can enjoy. Can Wally get Fenway Park ready for opening day? Find out in the premiere of Wally's Opening Day, Sunday, April 2nd at 5 on NESN.
So Pedroia smiling out there after making that play on the ground ball. You know, sometimes off contact as an infielder, you read like a weird ground ball. Like it's going to be a funny hop. And you saw him go down on one knee. Now, the ball now was not hit that hard, but he didn't have a good feeling about what that ball was going to do. So instead, he goes down on one knee to make sure, and he gets the out.
And that'll bring up Herrera. With one out here in the second inning, Herrera grounded to first base to end the first. Odubel Herrera, 25 years old, was claimed in the Rule 5 draft a couple of years ago from the Texas Rangers. That's in the baseball winter meetings in December, and if you put in a claim, it costs you a certain amount of money. I think it's $100,000 now. You keep that player, he's got to stay on your major league roster the entire season the next year, or you have to give him back, in this case to Texas. And in the case of Herrera, he was a terrific pickup. Spent the whole year. Sometimes, as you know, Jerry, you grab that guy and he's almost on scholarship, sits on the bench, doesn't play because you got to keep him on the roster. He played 147 games as a rookie, hit .297.
Yeah, and you know, it's a good opportunity. Obviously, you know, you're coming up with a club that was not going to be a competitive club. They knew that going into last season, and you have an opportunity to play a guy like Herrera.
Fouls that one into the seats, winds up being an all-star last year, and he's settled in now as a guy who, you know, is going to bat third, second in this lineup. He's a fixture. Listen, the Phillies have a little ways to go here in their rebuilding process. Yeah, 2008 is a long time ago, and that championship team with Ryan Howard retiring, it's gone. It's over.
Yeah, according to things that I've read about the Phillies, the fact that they have a pretty good minor league system that they've built up, and they think that some of the top quality players will be up within a couple of years, and they've also got money to spend on free agency in a few years.
Herrera with a ground ball. Bogaerts gets over to it, makes the play, and there's two down. Nice play by Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, that's very nice because, you know, Herrera's got good speed going down that first base line, and you know you have no room for error at all on a play like this. Now, you have to range deeply to your left and get rid of that ball as quick as possible with a little something on it. And he throws a complete strike right there to Mitch Moreland. That's a heck of a play by Bogaerts at shortstop. Showed great range, good balance, good strong throwing arm.
And two down for Tommy Joseph. Phillies last year lost 91 games, and that was an improvement. 8 wins more than the previous year when they lost 99. They made the trade for Clay Buchholz in the offseason. We miss him by a day. Buchholz going tomorrow.
Yep, getting the start tomorrow for Philadelphia.
And they think with Buchholz and Jeremy Hellickson, who stayed through all of this the last couple of years, they've got a couple of veterans who can stabilize the rotation. Because other than that, Vince Velasquez is 24, Aaron Nola 23, Jared Eichhoff 26. Going to be a young rotation around those guys, and as you said, more coming up through the pipeline. Swing and a miss there, and the count is 1-2. Interesting, when we talked to Buchholz a couple of weeks ago up in Clearwater when the Sox went north, and he had that quote that you know, the bad times outweighed the good. And I think the way the last couple of years went, it wasn't a great relationship, as we know, between Buchholz and the media, Buchholz and the fans, and I think a new lease on life a change of location is exactly what Buchholz needs at this point.
Yeah, I think that everybody agrees that, you know, we knew at the end of last season that's probably the last time we were going to see Buchholz in a Red Sox uniform. He obviously did some good things, and unfortunately for him, injuries a lot of times cost him valuable time and pitching wins. And, you know, there comes a time that's best for everybody to move on.
The 2-2 from Kendrick in a line drive base hit for Joseph. So second hit of the game for the Phillies, and a base runner with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Staying on the Buchholz subject for just a second as we take a look at the replay. The line shot right back up the middle. This ball's going to stay inside instead of away where Sandy Leon wanted it. But, you know, as players get to a certain point in their career, and it happened here actually with Roger Clemens, and I'm not saying Buchholz is going to have Clemens' success, but, you know, you get that fresh start. You get a little stale in one place, and then you go somewhere else, and it kind of revives you a little bit. And maybe that'll be the case for Clay Buchholz.
Yeah, well, I always remember the no-hitter in 2007 when he came up and was a late season part of that team that won a World Series. Was 12-1 in 2013 when the Red Sox won the World Series. But I think, as you said, the injuries and the fact that he had so much early success, he was always measured by that early success, and he could never quite be that guy again.
But then, you know, he'd go on these runs where he just pitched like an ace of a pitching staff, and then all of a sudden some injury would pop up, and, you know, that would be it for Clay. He'd have to shut it down.
This is fouled off to right field by Altair. Betts gets over after it, but it'll make the seats. Last year wound up starting Game 3 of that American League Division Series. You forget that when it was all said and done, he was starter. He was a starter for the Red Sox in the postseason. 4 innings, a couple of earned runs. He had been in the bullpen, so he wasn't stretched out to go very deep. Red Sox wound up trading him for the second baseman Josh Tobias, minor league prospect. Ground ball, base hit on the right field side. Altair sends one to the opposite field, so back-to-back hits with 2 outs here in the 4th.
That's nice hitting. It was a fastball. It was down and in, and it looks like a little inside-out swing that time to move the ball to the opposite field in that hole between first and second base. You see they want the ball away. Actually, it got a little bit more of the plate than Leon would have liked. And not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark, just make contact and picks up the base hit.
So 3 hits off Kendrick, all have come with 2 outs. 2 of them here in the 4th. And that'll bring up Andres Blanco, third baseman today. Guy who can play multiple positions. Started at 4 different infield positions for the Phillies last year. 2 years ago, he was one of the best pinch hitters in baseball. 7 extra base hits, which was tied for the most of any pinch hitter in baseball. 10 pinch hits. But last year it was only 161 batting average as a pinch hitter. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. That's not easy to do, Jerry. Pinch hitting. It takes a certain mindset, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I mean, you're not involved in the game whatsoever, and all of a sudden, you know, they tell you maybe an inning before there's a chance you're going to pinch hit next inning, and you go down in the runway, you try to get loose as quickly as possible, and there's a certain technique. Certain guys are able to do it, other guys have no chance.
This is fouled off on the third base side, and that'll make it up into the seats. And of course, his hitting coach, Matt Stairs, one of the great pinch hitters of all time, right? They set the major league record for most home runs by a pinch hitter.
Think about his career. I mean, from the Nesson pre and post game show to announcing for the Phillies, and now the hitting coach for the Philadelphia Phillies.
By the way, we said this when we were up in Clearwater. You didn't do that game, but I think that was a first, a major league first, and this would be a second, where we have a former Nesson analyst as a coach on each side. Gary DiSarcina for the Red Sox and Matt Stairs with the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's right.
You take a look at Matt Stairs.
So what you create major league coaches.
What I do is I create guys who don't want to be in television. Here's a ground ball. Moreland can't make the play. Bounces away from him out to right field. Betts is there backing it up. but that'll bring in the first run of the game for the Phillies.
You could read trouble as soon as contact was made. Again, it was one of those hops. It was going to be an in-between hop. And the indecision, I think, right here with Marlin, especially with the man at second base, as he tries to play it off to the side a little bit. And it gets by him, and that's going to give him a run. But you can see where the ball bounces, and it bounces with topspin. And that's the reason it got by him right there. You won't see that happen very much with Mitch Moreland.
So 3 straight batters reach. With 2 down here in the 4th, the Phillies get a run. And that'll bring up Rupp, who grounded out to begin the 3rd inning. 6th batter of the inning for Philadelphia. First pitch, swinging line drive to right field. Betts is back, and he makes the catch to end the inning. But the Phillies get a run, and after 3.5, it's 2-1 Red Sox. New pitcher on the mound for the Phillies as the Red Sox have a 2-1 lead coming to bat in the 4th inning. Adam Morgan, the lefty, 27-year-old. Began last season with AAA Lehigh Valley, wound up making 21 starts with the Phillies when it was all said and done. An ERA over 6. And a guy who has been plagued by the long ball over the course of his career. Last year, 23 home runs allowed in just 113 innings. His major league totals, he's thrown 197 in 2/3 innings. He's given up 37 home runs. And he gets a called strike to Mitch Moreland to begin the 4th. Third round pick of the Phillies back in 2011. And Moreland drops a bunt here, but the pitcher plays it, and Morgan gets it over to first. 1 down here in the 4th. This Keep It Moving moment brought to you by Old Dominion's. Pretty good defense for Xander Bogaerts.
He's played very, very well out there defensively for the Red Sox this afternoon. We look at a couple of plays. The first one coming very early in the game where he goes up the middle, as you can see right there, the quick release to get the out at first base right between the legs of Kendrick, and he's right there off balance again to make that throw to first to get the out. So good range and good accuracy on his throws shown by Bogaerts in this game.
Old Dominion helping the world keep its promises as Bogaerts comes to bat for the 2nd time today, lined out to short back in the second inning. I think the only concern about the World Baseball Classic for Bogaerts was the travel. And as you said, he seems to have weathered that pretty well.
Yeah, he came back into the clubhouse a few days ago, and actually the first question from John Farrell was, how do you feel? You know, we know you got to be jet lagged and exhausted. And he said, actually, I feel pretty good. It's kind of like a few days later that it catches up to, as you mentioned, TC. And but Bogaerts, since he's been back, hasn't missed a beat.
It was his second appearance in the World Baseball Classic, as Garen Austin told you earlier. And he said, listen, I did it in 2013, wound up being on a World Series championship team. Why wouldn't I do it again? I mean, that was his theory. It was a great experience last time around. Why wouldn't I do it again? They made it through to the finals, so he was gone for 3 weeks. For the final round, beating the semifinals. Ground ball to short, Florimon up with it. 2 down. Here in the fourth, so Morgan has come in and retired the first 2 batters he's faced.
I thought that was going to be a base hit when I saw that ball get by the third baseman Blanco, and where Florimon had to go to the backhand, he made a pretty nice play on it to get that ball across to Diamond and get Bogaerts by quite a bit at first base.
Now, Jerry, Morgan is in the battle for a left-handed spot in the Phillies bullpen next year. We're going to see Joely Rodriguez later. He's another left-handed reliever. Last year, the Phillies had, quite frankly, the worst group of left-handed relievers in Major League Baseball. Their lefty relievers posted a 6.42 ERA, which was the highest by any group of lefties in Major League Baseball since 2007. 7 different lefties tried it through, and out of that group of 7, only 2 remain, Morgan and Rodriguez. So they have flipped it all over, but as you know, a bullpen, you can do that. Guys don't work, try somebody else. Jackie Bradley Jr. fouls one off, the count of 1-1.
I see this time up as John Farrell had to get out of the way of that foul ball, but this time at the plate you see Blanco staying in the grass even with 1 out, one strike on Bradley, because he bunted in that direction last time up. Now he'll move back just a little bit, couple of steps on the dirt, and then creep back in.
This is fouled back into the seats. Gary DiSarcina, by the way, is the third base coach now, and the team saying yesterday that he will be the third base coach when the season begins. Brian Butterfield, coming back from a knee replacement, won't quite be ready for the start of the year.
He was doing real well too, was Butterfield, you know, and he actually for a couple of days had a lot of soreness. He had knee replacement during the off season, and that's been keeping him from coaching third base. Now he's been taking parts in drills, which he does every morning.
Here's a long fly ball for Bradley to center field. It is up and it is gone. Home run for Jackie Bradley Jr., his 3rd of the spring, and the Red Sox lead by 2 again.
Now, how do you like that? I mean, last time up, he takes advantage of the wide open gap at third base and bunts one for a base hit. Now working against the left-hander. Looks like a little slider that time that he gets it. He takes the straightaway center field. Herrera turns his back on the baseball, runs back, and trying to play it off the wall, but it gets just on top, it looks like, of the wall and gets over the fence for the home run.
So Sandy Leon coming up after the Bradley 2-out home run makes it 3-1 Red Sox here in the 4th. Bradley going deep for the 3rd time this spring.
Getting back to that coaching situation for a second, Butterfield, you know, had a little bit of a setback here, but it hasn't stopped him. He's in charge of the morning drills that they all go through here, the infield drills, the outfield drills, pitching drills, and he's been able to do that, but he has not yet been able to get on the field to coach third base. So DiSarcina, as you mentioned, will take over at the beginning of the season, and of course he's got experience with the Angels.
Right, he was third base coach for the Angels for a while. You briefly saw, as we were talking about the coach there, Ruben Amaro Jr., who has been coaching third here spring. Now he's back at first, as you see DiSarcina over there at third, and Amaro will be back as the first base coach, former general manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. So kind of strange for him to be out on the bases going against Philly today.
Yeah, can you imagine the feeling for Amaro? You know, and this is a club, the Phillies, that he was the GM for. and all of a sudden he's back in uniform. He's coaching first base. The Phillies are in the first base dugout. I mean, it has to be a strange feeling.
Right? I mean, some of these guys you traded for.
Yeah.
Guy pulls up at first base. Hey, I'm glad we got you. Now I hope you get thrown out.
He actually did a very nice job coaching third base in a few games that I've seen him down there.
It's foul just barely off the first base side near Amaro. Yeah, he wanted to get back in uniform after the end of the run there with Philadelphia. Thought maybe he wanted to try to see if he could follow the path through to managing. And a lot of people think he will someday be a manager.
Well,
but what a better way to do it than getting in uniform and coaching.
Sure, and usually the progression is first base to third base to bench coach to manager.
DeSarcina, of course, back with the Red Sox this year. Managed in Pawtucket and Lowell before going to the Angels. Here's a ground ball to third base. Blanco up with it. Throws out Leon to end the inning. But the Red Sox get a run on Jackie Bradley Jr.'s third home run of the spring. We head to the fifth. And the Red Sox lead 3-1. The Red Sox spring training coverage. It's the season finale of Ness and Next Producer. The three finalists will be revealed and given a new challenge from Red Sox marketing executives. Tune in today after 4 following our Red Sox spring training coverage. Ness and Next Producer presented by buyatoyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Now, Jerry, we have had an exclusive sneak preview of this final episode, and if you've watched Ness and Next Producer, the cool thing about it is you've got student filmmakers getting a chance to show their stuff. But I like this episode because it really gets into sports. Red Sox, as you know, every year they have a big marketing campaign, right? We've all seen those ads. Sometimes they go back to glory years of the past, sometimes about the kids. Well, they let the three finalists, we can't give away who they are. I think I get fired if I say that. It's like
you might. Don't do that.
Thing.
Don't do that right now.
Well, you'd have to go the rest of the game yourself. But I like that they actually bring them inside the marketing group and let them do a little vignette of their own. You know, how would you market the Red Sox?
Yeah, it's great stuff. It really is. And, you know, it takes a lot. I mean, a lot of courage for those guys, men and women, to go in and do that and, you know, be judged and officially become a producer or put together some type of feature.
And you're trying to capture the essence of Red Sox Nation.
Yeah,
you know, you're trying to.
You've got to have an understanding of it going
bring the fans together and bring the team and the fans and the connection between the two, which begins down here at spring training and travels north. So you want to check it out right after our game. And it's, again, 3 student filmmakers. We can't give away the finalists. You will see that in the show who made the final cut. But they'll be trying their hand at a little vignette, kind of a shorter version of what the Red Sox marketing department. Again, this is a big marketing department, right? You've got a major league marketing department that does this all off season. Now you're asking these students to go out and do it on the fly, and you'll see how they did.
Nerve-wracking for those involved, no question about that.
Like working with Jerry Remy. It's incredibly nerve-wracking. Pressure on you. It's 1-2 pitch here, and Kendrick misses outside. What have you seen from Kendrick so far here, Jerry?
Well, he's a guy that, pretty much every start we've seen the same thing. It's not overpowering. It's moving the ball around, changing speeds, changing types of pitches, going with some splitters, going with some breaking balls, moving the ball inside, outside. Veteran type pitching. 2-2
to Florman, and he strikes him out. Swing and a miss there. So it is the 4th strikeout of the game for Kyle Kendrick. One down here in the 5th.
Well, if you notice the location of that last pitch, you look at Kyle Willis, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, the fact that, nothing down the middle of the plate, everything's away. You can see right here, this ball is going to be away. Leone sets up out there. You get the little tail at the end, at the bottom of the strike zone, outside corner. Very difficult pitch to hit.
So 4 strikeouts for Kendrick, the former Philly, against the Philadelphia Phillies, and a called strike to Brian Holiday, who got the first hit of the game for the Phillies back in the 3rd, a double. One of 4 hits on the afternoon. Each team with 4 hits. Holiday fouls it down the 3rd baseline. Opponents are hitting .205 off Kendrick this spring. It's now 24 strikeouts. So he has been terrific. Here's the 0-2 pitch. This misses outside.
Shook off that time. He either the splitter or the changeup. We saw the wiggle of the fingers from Sandy Leone. He didn't want that. He wanted to go to the fastball away, and again, just off the outside part of the plate. So nothing down the middle.
This one is fouled down the right field line. Is it pesky pole south? It's Fenway South. We know that.
Yeah, everything's
same
south.
dimensions. So
yeah.
is that, or is there another name for it?
No, signed just like up north at Fenway Park.
Have you signed it?
I have not signed that one. No, I did sign the one at Fenway.
They repaint that every year?
I think they do. They must, because
there'd be a lot of names on it.
Yeah.
Kind of old and ratty at this point. There's a fly ball up towards the green monster in left field, and it's off the screen there. Benintendi tried to barehand that. He throws it in. And the second double of the game for Holiday. A little different playing it off the screen here at Fenway, Jerry. You don't have one of those up north.
Yeah, when you play at Fenway Park, that ball's going to bounce a little bit harder off this hit off the netting out there. At Fenway, it's going to hit off the wall, and that's why Benintendi, I think, attempted to play it bare hand, but you get a different bounce. You don't get the same type of carom off the wall as you do back in Boston. And he, if he makes that play right there barehanded and spins, he may have had a chance at him at second base.
Yeah, Holiday, a catcher, designated hitter today, but not the speediest runner in the lineup. But he's been on twice today, 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. Again, Holiday last year, 14 games with the Red Sox when he was claimed off waivers from Texas. So 1 out and a man on for Hernandez, who is 0 for 2. Grounded to short in the 3rd inning, struck out in his first at-bat. Cesar Hernandez. '26-year-old swings and misses there.
This is where you have an advantage of a man that does not have really good speed at second base, where you can play the infield. The middle infield, the shortstop and second baseman deep, so they have a chance to knock down any kind of ground ball and save a run. Now Bogaerts is going to come in behind him, but then he's quickly going to get back into his deep position.
Kendrick delivers, called 3rd strike, so he strikes out Hernandez, his 5th strikeout of the game. 2 down here in the 5th inning. 5 strikeouts for Kendrick.
Well, again, we talk about good location. Right on the outside part of the plate. I mean, those pitches are pretty hard. They're tough to make contact on. And if you do make contact, you're probably going to foul them off. But we're looking at all the strikeouts today, and you notice none of them of a ball down the middle of the plate. They're all been on the corners.
That'll bring up Chris Coughlin for the third time. He's 0 for 2. And Coughlin just foul here on the first base side. Interesting decision coming up. If he's not added to the Phillies roster by tomorrow, Coughlin can request his release. He's in a battle with Daniel Nava and Brock Stassi, that kind of last man on the spot. Stassi, I think, might be the most versatile as far as the number of positions there. Nava's had a pretty good camp. He was 4 for 4 against the Red Sox 2 weeks ago.
Now, this time of the spring, especially, you know, when you're getting down to your 25-man roster, there are jobs that open up with other ball clubs. And so if you get a chance to get your release, if you're not picked up by the club you're with, you still have a number of days to be picked up by another major league team. Maybe a need here for a guy like Coughlin with somebody else, if not the Phillies, and somebody will jump on him.
Came into the day hitting .265. He's 0 for 2 today. Gets his new bat. Pops this one foul. Holt trying to get there, but it'll be up in the seats. So a few years back, Grady Sizemore came here, and it's kind of at the end of his career. You knew he really wasn't going to catch on here, but he got the chance to come here and play. And when he opted out of his deal, he wound up going somewhere else. And Kyle Kendrick is in that boat to an extent. Now, his opt-out isn't until June. So the Red Sox can send him to Pawtucket if everybody's healthy here and keep him around for insurance. But if they haven't used him by June, he will then have the opportunity. And if he's pitching like this, teams will be lining up to sign him.
Now, we know how quickly things can change in a starting rotation. I mean, it's already happened with the Red Sox because of the David Price injury. And Red Sox in search of depth as far as starters go, and certainly Kendrick would fall into that category along with Owens, Johnson, but this guy's got plenty of major league experience and a good insurance policy to have around.
75th pitch of the afternoon for Kendrick. Misses on the outside. It's 2-2. Well, you look at the state of the Red Sox minor league starting pitching. Henry Owens and Brian Johnson have taken steps back over the last couple of years. Roenis Elias is on the DL right now, or will be on the DL when the season begins. Hector Velazquez, who they signed for the Mexican League, isn't ready. So Kendrick gives him that major league ready depth. Here's a fly ball. Bradley back to the edge of the track, under it, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So a double for Holiday, but that's it as Kendrick rolls through 5 innings, and the Red Sox have a 3-1 lead. Yeah, Ted Williams, number 9. 9 days remaining till the season opens for real at Fenway. Gorgeous day here in Florida, bottom of the fifth at JetBlue Park. Red Sox lead 3-1. Brock Holt leading off the fifth. Second inning of work for Adam Morgan, the lefty who came in the fourth, gave up the home run to Jackie Bradley Jr. And a new second baseman for the Phillies, Jesmuel Valentin. It's the son of former Major League infielder Jose Valentin. 51st overall pick in the 2012 draft by the Dodgers. Was acquired in the Roberto Hernandez deal in 2014. Holt ahead of that one. 1-2 the count. Holt line to second base last time around. Seven different positions he started at last season. One of the most versatile players in recent Red Sox history. Slashes this one, hot shot up into the seats. At this point, it was just about this time last year, you remember, where Holt won the starting left fielder job, beating out Rusney Castillo. Travis Shaw won that third base job, beating out Pablo Sandoval. Those were decisions made late in camp.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to have any of those unless there's an injury.
Base hit for Holt. His first of the afternoon, the fifth hit of the day for the Red Sox.
It seems to me, we were talking about this earlier, TC, as we look at the base hit there, breaking ball that stayed upstairs from Morgan, and Holt does a nice job staying back on it and lines it out of the right field base hit. But looking at this Red Sox roster, it seems to be very well set, with the exception of maybe the catching position.
Maybe the catching position. It was interesting that John Farrell, talking about that today, was quick to bring up Blake Swihart, who has had a terrific camp. I think everyone has sort of assumed it would be Leon and Vasquez, and I still think that's, the pecking order right now. But boy, the way Swihart has played, Swihart hitting .314, certainly the best hitter of the three here at spring training, and probably overall considered to be the best hitting prospect of the three. And then maybe that spot for the final spot on the roster, Josh Rutledge, Marco Hernandez. Rutledge is a Rule 5 guy, so if you don't keep him on the roster, you lose him back to Colorado. So he's probably got the inside track.
But how about Hernandez? How about the spring he's had?
He's been the best hitter here in camp.
Wow.
Pedroia fouls one off. You saw Dave Dombrowski, Frank Wren sitting here in the crowd. And you talked about players around baseball who would become available as roster decisions are made at the end. That's when other teams come calling too. Remember, Sandy Leon only wound up here because Vasquez, at the very end of camp 2 years ago, was diagnosed as needing Tommy John surgery, and they scrambled to get a catcher. All of a sudden, Leon not only is here for insurance, he's your #1 catcher.
At one point that Dustin made to me earlier this spring, and we were just talking to him, and I was asking him about the catching situation, and I asked about Leon and Vasquez, and he said both. He says are tremendous at calling games. He said both guys, you can't really give one the edge over the other, because they both do a tremendous job calling games defensively, the ability to throw out runners to second base. I noticed Vasquez's arm has been stronger than it was a year ago, which you expected it to be.
All right, take a look at the catchers, Leon, Swihart, and Vasquez. You can see what they have done here at spring training. They've all got a lot of playing time, and that's something that John Farrell's worked real hard to do. Sometimes, and you don't see those numbers here, even putting them in a minor league game to keep them busy. I talked to Vasquez about that throwing arm here in camp a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about, he didn't realize, he thought he was back last year.
No.
He says now that he feels his arm fully strong again, he realized he wasn't there a year ago.
There was certainly a visible difference in his throws a year ago, coming off that Tommy John surgery.
Pedroia working the full count here. And Pedroia will be a leadoff hitter. That's another development. Last year he kind of wound up there when it was all said and done. Maybe not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but, you know, last year he hit .362 as a leadoff hitter, which was the highest in the majors.
That makes him prototypical to me. You get that kind of production out of your leadoff man, and you know the top 3 guys in this lineup, top 4 guys, including Hanley. You know, it's pretty impressive.
Let's take a look at the upcoming events at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Steve Winwood on April 28th, The Fray on April 30th, and Foreigner on May 5th. You a Foreigner guy, Jerry?
Who?
Foreigner?
No, not really.
No, you weren't a Foreigner guy back in the day?
But see the show. I mean,
sure.
it's certainly worth it.
See them all. There's the throw. Looked like a hit and run, but the swing and the miss, so the strike him out, throw him out, double play. And suddenly there are 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, one thing that happens, you know, you get thrown out at second base, a 3-2 count, and you're not getting the type of jump that you would if you were stealing a base, because you want to make sure the pitcher goes home. So if there's a swing and miss, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get thrown out, and that's a perfect throw just waiting right there for Brock Holt. Now, see, Brock, he doesn't have a big lead. He's looking back. He's hoping for contact. And you know, you can't blame him because you expect Pedroia to make contact. So it's good getting the runner going. The unfortunate part is Dustin did not make contact, and as I mentioned, you don't get the same type of jump on a 3-2 count. You're making sure the pitcher goes home. You don't want to be picked off. You're not trying to steal a base. You're hoping for contact in that situation.
So you go from 1 on, nobody out, to 2 down with no one on, and Benintendi rips this one high and foul. Benintendi last year became the youngest player to ever hit a playoff home run for the Red Sox. He did it in the first plate appearance ever in the playoffs. Remember when he was hurt late in the season, you said there's no way he's going to come back from this?
Mm-hmm.
And if he does, he won't be the same. Well, he came back, and he was just as good, if not better.
That was a bad-looking injury. Happened down in Tampa Bay.
1-2. The pitch from Morgan misses outside.
The thing that impresses me about Benintendi, the fact that you know, you can't tell by looking at him whether he's played a day in the big leagues or he's played 15 years in the big leagues. He just has that real mellow, confident style about him.
Unflappable.
Yeah, it's like
the word I think of.
Yeah, it's like nothing bothers him.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Now you know, you've got to feel something inside. Everybody does, but you never know it by looking at him.
It's the full count for Morgan, and Benintendi draws a walk. So a 2-out walk. And he's aboard for the 2nd time today. Had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning, and that'll bring up Mookie Betts. Good to see Benintendi working a walk from a lefty pitcher. Good to see him get that timing down off a lefty.
Yeah, stayed off a very tough pitch, too. That pitch was on the outside part of the plate and just off the outside edge. So that's obviously, with 2 strikes, a very tempting one to swing at. He was able to not swing at it, draw the walk.
Mookie Betts, 1 for 2. Swinging at the first pitch. Last year, the Gold Glove for Mookie Betts. He was the youngest Red Sox player to win a Gold Glove award at any position since Fred Lynn back in 1975. 1-1 the count.
So when I was walking into the clubhouse this morning, Gary DiZarcina was sitting with Jack McCormick in his office, and I walk in, and Gary says to me, he says, first question in the morning, I just got here, you know, I hadn't had my coffee yet or anything. He says, if you could be anybody on this team, who would you want to be? And I said, well, you know, I'm starting to think, you know, I don't know. And so I dropped out Mookie Betts, and he says, that's it, you got it. He says, why not, right? I mean, you're young, you're very talented. I mean, you got everything going for you as a major league player at a very young age.
Well, you know, there was a conversation about a month ago here in camp over who is the face of baseball. And Mike Trout, I think, was the guy who sort of, you know, got the most consideration. But if there's anybody else battling for it, Mookie Betts is right in the thick of that.
Exactly right. That's a great point. And you know, it is Trout. There's no question about that. Trout's a great player. Betts is certainly on his way to being a Mike Trout.
Hey, by the way, Jerry, we've got a developing story up in Port Charlotte, not Tampa. We figured that out, Port Charlotte. Pablo Sandoval with a 3-run home run.
Oh, good.
He was getting some right-handed swings.
Good.
3-run home run and a 4-3 lead for the Red Sox. I thought we should have a split squad of our own. I thought you should go up to Port Charlotte.
In my
I could be here.
In my first game, make a road trip. I got a road trip tomorrow.
You'd be all alone up there. We'd throw it to you. You'd be, like one of those news reporters in a blizzard, sort of standing out there alone in left field.
Yeah, and you'd say, "Stay safe."
You have to nod to the camera before we come to you. And the ground ball chopper, played by the short, flipped over to Valentine. The force will end the inning. So Benintendi draws a walk. Holt with a single for the Red Sox. Can't get a run here. We head to the 6th. It's 3-1 Boston. Leading 3-1, 6th inning time means we've got some changes here in Grapefruit League Baseball. Brock Holt moves to left. Tate Matheny in right field. A couple of changes in the infield as well, as we've got a new third baseman, Jansen Whitty, and the second baseman is Hiker Meneses. Now you're all caught up. First pitch swinging here is a base hit to left field. Herrera drives one to the wall to lead off the second. Here's the throw from Bradley, but he slides in with a head-first double to lead off the 6th.
That's the first time in this game the leadoff man has been on for the Philadelphia Phillies against Kendrick as he finds that gap in left center field. A head-first slide into second base. And keep that tag on those head-first slides. A lot of times they'll come off the bag. That time it did not happen. Made continued contact with the bag, and even though the tag was there by Meneses, no out was called.
And it'll bring up Tommy Joseph for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 2. Got a single in the 4th with 2 outs. That started a 2-out rally. 3 straight hits with 2 outs. Chopper gloved down by Bogaerts, but he can't make a play. He kept Herrera from advancing, though, possibly scoring. As he knocks it down, we've got 2 on with nobody out.
That's actually a very good base running play by Herrera at second base, because he's got to make sure that that ball gets by Bogaerts. If Bogaerts goes to the backhand and makes that play, he's got a chance to throw him out at third base. So you kind of have to hang out, and that's exactly what the runner at second base did, Herrera. And so now they get a nice little first and second situation. And you can see the contact of the baseball, so that keeps out of left field. That keeps a man at second base.
And Altair, who's 1 for 2 with a base hit. Faces Kendrick with 2 on, nobody out. You know, Kendrick was getting a lot of first pitch strikes, and it looked like they were a little more aggressive. Herrera and Joseph both coming out swinging.
Yeah, he's not walking anybody. If you got a guy that's around the plate, you know, and he's hitting the corners all the time, especially when he's ahead in the count, if you get a first pitch strike down the middle, you got to be swinging. He's making you swing.
6th inning of work. 1-1 the count here to Altair. Altair, the 26-year-old outfielder, began last season on the 60-day DL because of a torn tendon in his left wrist. Injured it during spring training. Ultimately activated in late July. Went 3 for 4 in his first game for the Phillies. That was against Atlanta. And Jerry, in the Phillies media guide, I love this. They ask everybody what their hobbies are.
Yeah.
Aaron Altair's hobbies are working out.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Golfing. You got time to golf. And watching King of Queens. Not just watching television, watching that specific show.
And that's a hobby.
Is one of his hobbies.
He must binge watch.
He must love King of Queens. Ground ball. Bogaerts gets to it, flips it over to second to get the force. Nice play by Xander Bogaerts for the first out of the inning.
Very, very nice. You know, we've seen Xander make some very good plays today. That's the best because it saves a run. First of all, he's able to arrange again to his left, saving a run right there by keeping it out of the outfield, and then the sidearm flip as the second baseman makes himself a first baseman, stretching out to get the out at second base. Very nice play on both parts, Bogaerts and Meneses.
Tough play for Meneses just because it's unusual.
Yeah, you got to forget about a double play. You're not going to get that. So what you got to do is, be prepared for any kind of throw, especially when they're flipping it to second base, and then make yourself a first baseman by stretching out when you see the location of the flip.
Men on the corners for Blanco. 1 out now. Here in the 6th inning. Blanco had an infield single in his last at-bat, struck out in the 2nd inning. 1 for 2, now hitting .231. Swing and a miss, 1-1 the count.
That ball there was designed for a ground ball to get him out of the inning. That ball was down. It was down about ankle high, and you were kind of almost hoping from Blanco to make contact there and hit a ground ball.
When you talk to the Phillies people, when Kendrick was in Philadelphia, he was primarily a sinker ball guy.
Yeah.
Runner goes from first. No throw, so a stolen base. Altair, and it takes him out of the double play. 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 out for Blanco in the 6th.
That's pretty smart right there because, he's very slow to home plate. And that's the way to stay out of the inning-ending double play right there, is to get your man in a scoring position. There's really no contest at all, not even a throw by Leone. Very good jump at first base.
Base hit could tie the game for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. Leone will call time and go out to talk.
I think the reason here is the man at second base, Bogaerts, is coming in. They want to make sure they're on the same page with the signs.
Jordan's Furniture is the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Right now, get up to 60 months with no interest and equal payments. Furnish one room or your entire home. And best of all, you get to enjoy it now. Visit Jordans.com for details. Our last broadcast from JetBlue Park this spring, right? Dave O'Brien will be with you tomorrow. You guys will be, that's across town, right? That's over at Hammond Stadium.
Yeah, what about 3 or 4 miles from here?
Yeah, I think 6, all told. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strike out there for Kendrick, his 6th of the game.
Looked like a high split-fingered fastball that time. You'll see the ball looked like it was supposed to be down inside, but it stays away and it runs away that time from Blanco. That's a big strike with 2 men in scoring position. Now he's got 1 out to go to get out of this mess.
And it'll be Rupp who comes up. Cameron Rupp, 0 for 2. Grounded to short and line to right field. That was the 87th pitch of the day for Kyle Kendrick. He'd like to finish this 6th inning. Rupp made his major league debut in 2013 as a catcher with the Phillies. Kendrick was still a pitcher on that staff. Red Sox leading 3-1. Rupp able to hold up. It's a 2-0 count. Kendrick won at least 10 games in 3 straight seasons, his final 3 seasons with the Phillies. Misses outside here, and it's a 3-0 count.
Rupp, the kind of guy that has some power, can turn this game around. He may have the green light here. 3 balls and no strikes.
Here's the 3-0. Gets the outside corner, strike 1.
And that's not the kind of pitch you want to swing at. 3 balls and no strikes. A pitch that's away from you. He's looking at one zone. That's middle in.
Swing and a miss. 3-2 now. A leadoff double for Herrera. Joseph got a single after that. You had 2 on, nobody out. Now the runner's on 2nd and 3rd with 2 down. 3-2. The big one due. As Kendrick deals. Fly ball, right center field, deep. Getting back after it to make the catch is Matheny to end the inning. So Kendrick gets out of it without giving up a run, and the Red Sox take a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th. Some good defense behind him. Xander Bogaerts has had a day with the glove. Kendrick, 92 pitches through 6 innings. A great Houdini job there as he was able to escape the early inning trouble.
Well, and look at the walk totals. None. No walks. Has not hurt himself at all in this game and has the 3-1 lead right now. Very nice play to end last inning by Matheny out there in right field. That ball on contact, I thought, had a chance to get out of this ballpark.
I think a lot of people here in the ballpark did. They're a little bit of sigh of relief as Matheny tracked it down. Tate Matheny, of course, is the son of Cardinals manager Mike Matheny. 3rd round pick for the Red Sox in the 2015 draft. Here's Hanley Ramirez to lead off the 6th. Designated here, has popped out to 2nd base twice. Look at that Matheny catch.
Yeah, that's pretty tough play. I mean, you're looking for the ball, you're looking for the wall, and he's able to make it. Kendrick loves it. Leaves men at 2nd and 3rd base.
Fly ball to right field. in the corner. A little bit of a wind issue, but Altair gets there to make the catch. Roman Quinn is the new center fielder, by the way. Brock Stassi is the new first baseman. You've got a couple of changes to begin this inning. New catcher as well, Andrew Knapp is behind the plate as Morgan is out there for his third inning of work. Let's give it up just one run, the home run to Jackie Bradley Jr. in the fourth inning that made it 3-1 Red Sox. Mitch Moreland up for the third time. Tried to drop a bunt, beat the shift in his last outing, but it was played by Morgan. It's a 2-0 count to Moreland. Mitch Moreland has had 20 or more homers in 3 of the last 4 seasons. He's a guy with power and gives him some left-handed power. It's important on this team, Jerry. It kind of is becoming a little right-handed heavy, and you lose David Ortiz. You had to add a left-handed hitter into this lineup somewhere.
Yeah, you're not going to replace Ortiz's numbers. That's not going to happen, but this team still has the ability to score a lot of runs. The way you help to make the difference up is preventing runs with the pitching staff and the addition of Sale.
Chris Sale, he said pitch tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yes. We'll see him on Nesson.
Swing and a miss there. 2-2 the count. May have foul tipped it. Moreland led Major League Baseball with a .750 slugging percentage in July. He put together a terrific month. He drives this one to the opposite field towards the green monster. Deep, up high, but played there by the left fielder Coughlin for the second out of the inning. Two down here in the 6th inning. Major League Baseball brings you the action on the #1 app for live baseball. Download the MLB.com app today. You can get radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Your #1 app for live baseball, MLB.com at bat. Check it out.
I got to learn how to use a new app, and that's the one to do my expenses at Nesson.
Oh yeah, there's a whole new
system.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet.
No,
I did it old school. I still did an expense report.
That's what I've been doing.
You're probably not happy with me.
30 years, and I've got to learn how to use a new app.
You have it on your phone?
I guess it goes on my phone. Yeah, well, that's what it goes. I guess it goes on my phone.
iPad? You don't have an iPad, do you?
No, I do at home. Actually, I do at home.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You know how to use it? This surprises me a little bit.
I know how to get to YouTube, and I get my concerts on YouTube.
There you go. Xander Bogaerts up for the 3rd time today. 0 for 2. Yeah, I'm surprised by this. I would think you'd have a guy who would just sort of have all your, you'd just hand him the receipt and he'd shove them all in an envelope and take care of that stuff for you.
No, I've always done it myself, and I've been very, very honest, I must admit.
Oh, I don't have any questions about that at all.
Never have been questioned on an expense in 29 years.
Nor have I.
Never.
So there you go. Between us, that is 60 years of expense reports at Nesson.
Yeah. Now I'll probably get this app, and it'll mess everything up, and I'll go right back to the old system.
3-0 the count on Bogaerts. Trying to reach for the first time today. And draws a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Discussion out on the mound, and we'll have a pinch runner coming in for Bogaerts as Mike Miller, the infielder, is on first. Pitch running for Bogaerts. Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 for 2. Little bunt single to break the shift in the 3rd inning, and then a little home run that'll beat the shift a different way in the 4th. 3rd homer of the spring for JBJ.
Well, Jackie got that breaking ball, a breaking ball that was on the outside part of the plate. He hooks it a little bit to straightaway center field, right at the top of the wall, and bounces over for the home run. That coming back in the 4th inning.
Two down and a man on here in the 6th inning. 3-1 Red Sox lead. Benintendi, Betts, and Bradley have the RBI. Here's a foul pop. Trying to get over after it, but unable to is Blanco, the third baseman, who is way over with the shift. So good effort for him, but it hits off the top of the dugout.
Yeah, what didn't help him either is the breeze, which is really blowing hard now. It's blowing from the bullpen area toward third base, the third base dugout. And that ball kept pushing away from Blanco. There you see the breeze, pretty strong here this afternoon. Very calm this morning coming to the ballpark, but it's certainly picked up.
A little warmer. I think it's about the warmest day I've seen down here yet. This time of the year, usually it starts getting blazing down here at the very end of camp.
Try it down here in August.
I'm good. One and two the count. And fouled off again by Bradley. Jackie Bradley Jr. last season solidified his spot in this lineup and starting outfielder in the 2016 All-Star game, elected by the fans as the starter. Two-time nominee for a Gold Glove, still hasn't won one though. A little bit surprising, but then you look at some of the talent in center field around baseball right now with Kiermaier, Jones, and Pilar. Everybody in the American League East, it seems.
Yeah, Kiermaier especially exceptional in center field.
2-2 the count now to Bradley.
And Pilar, it seems like every time the Red Sox play against the Toronto Blue Jays, makes some kind of tremendous play against the Red Sox, whether it be up in Toronto or in Boston.
Yeah, and Adam Jones, you saw him in the World Baseball Classic doing his Spider-Man impersonation to rob his teammate. How about that, huh? Manny Machado thinks he has a home run in the World Baseball Classic, and it's your Orioles teammate, Jones, who robs you?
You know how many innings I saw of the World Baseball Classic?
I'm guessing I'm going to take the under, whatever it was. I'm taking the under.
I just can't get into it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Well, I hear, and don't get me going because I've got issues about the World Baseball Classic. I think it was more exciting this year. I do. I think it was the best one yet. But I think there were two games that were in prime time.
Yeah.
You know, they were either 10 o'clock on the West Coast,
right,
or 3 a.m. in Tokyo. If you want people to get excited and watch this game, they've got to be on at 8 o'clock in the evening. You've got to be able to have fans available to watch it. I still think there's a way to do this during the All-Star break every 4 years like the NHL does with the Olympics. He went around, foul tipped it, he said, strike three the call as Knapp holds on. So we head to the 7th here at JetBlue, and the Red Sox lead 3-1. And we are back here, top of the 7th at JetBlue Park. Pedro Florman leading off. Kyle Kendrick back out, Jerry, for a 7th inning. You surprised?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised.
I was asking that for the TV audience during the commercial when you said, "Oh my God, Kendrick's back out there for another inning."
I couldn't believe it. I mean, the first Red Sox pitcher to go into the 7th inning, obviously this spring. As you mentioned, though, he's got so many starts.
We've got some outfield changes. Well, changes all over actually. Monge is your new outfielder. Joseph Monge in center field. Alan Craig is the new first baseman. Think of what else we had, right? Mike Miller is the shortstop, but he came in as a pinch runner for Bogarts. Here Florman drives one to the triangle in right center field. Cut off there by Matheny, who made a good line to it, made sure that didn't get in there deep, and he holds him to a double. But Florman with a double to lead it off, and that will be the end of the day for Kyle Kendrick, as John Farrell comes out to take away the baseball and go to the bullpen. Robbie Ross was up in the bullpen. We'll see if it's Ross coming into the game when we come back. Red Sox lead 3-1 as we get a nice ovation for Kyle Kendrick from the crowd, and Robbie Ross comes in from the bullpen. Jordan's Furniture is the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Right now, get up to 60 months with no interest with equal payments. Furnish one room or your entire home. Best of all, you'll get to enjoy it now. Visit Jordans.com for details.
See, what I'm doing, TC, is I'm trying Facebook Live. Something new I'm trying. So I've got you on right now.
Look at this.
And I've got you on Facebook Live doing the promo.
Mikey, give me the promo again. Any promo. Mikey, our great stage manager, gives me a promo, and I look up, and all of a sudden, Jerry's got his camera in my grill.
There's our camera right there looking at us, and then here we're gonna go look at the ballpark. Beautiful, isn't it?
This is a great look at the ballpark. So you are watching, if you're watching Facebook Live, Jerry's thing right now, which I don't fully understand, but
I don't either. That's
apparently you can watch the game on NESN, or you can watch the game on NESN through Jerry's Facebook Live.
I think that's against the law.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a bill for rights fees, which you won't want to get, because that's fouled up into foul territory.
I think it came out good, though. I finished it up, and I think
you know, we have NESN Plus.
Yeah.
No, you know we have NESN Plus. That's NESN Minus. That's going to be my name for your Facebook Live.
I didn't show any action, so I shouldn't get in trouble.
NESN Minus. Oh, goodness.
Oh, well.
Jerry's got a live production truck in his satchel. We're all in trouble. There's a fly ball to center field as Holiday is retired for the first time today. He was 2 for 2 against Kyle Kendrick, but he flies out against Ross. Yeah, no, you didn't show the game, so I don't think you have to pay any rights fees, although
No.
I think you did. I think I need to I think you need to ask me before I show up.
Well, you're going to charge me
Well,
now?
I'm just saying, there's rights fees going around. Is Robbie Ross Jr., who's...
I think I got, was it Michael?
Mikey over here is going to want a payment.
I got him on, too, so
Yeah.
I owe both of you money.
Yeah.
And you don't hold your breath.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I'll make you pay for gas money when we go to... where are we going Tuesday?
Bradenton.
Somewhere up north. Bradenton.
Bradenton.
Yeah. You're going to buy me lunch in Bradenton for my rights fee.
Well, we can't take my car, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, what's the deal? I said you can drive, and then
I'm
you
not
said
gonna.
no.
I'm not gonna mention the car. What
Yeah,
type it is.
Yeah, they might be a sponsor.
But yeah, exactly. And my rental car this spring is just a piece of junk.
You're not happy with it?
It's terrible, and it must have the size of a gas tank of like a lawnmower, because I can't make a trip to my house back in Naples to up here.
It was a base hit to left field for Valentin, his first at-bat of the day. And men on the corners now with one out.
You know, without filling up the tank. It's unbelievable. I can't go anywhere. We would never make it to Bradenton, TC, if I was driving. We would never make it to Bradenton with that car without having to stop 3 times to fill up just going up there.
Why didn't you bring it back and just swap it in for a different car?
I'm only here for a month, you know, but
It's only a month.
It's terrible. I mean, and it's not. It's like riding a toy car. It's
You don't want to get one of these times as a rental. You should get one of those electric ones. They just plug it in at night.
It might be better than this thing.
I know you're not happy with that. I've never heard you complain about a rental car down here before. I was surprised to hear you say that, because usually I like to drive.
Yeah, I do like to drive, but I can't do this. We'll be stopping to fill up every 10 minutes.
That's no good. I'm going to drive. I'll drive. Pick you up at the usual spot.
Yeah, well,
Road trip.
We won't give that away because we don't want anybody to take that wonderful vehicle I've had.
You want to just say it so they can? I'll leave it in the 3rd spot from the left over at the usual place.
You know what it cost me to fill up? Whoa.
This is a high fly ball to right field, but Matheny is under it. That'll be deep enough to bring home the run. Second run of the game on the sacrifice fly for Coughlin. He's 0 for 3, hitless in the afternoon and 4 at-bats, but he brings the Phillies back within a run.
Good job by Matheny getting that ball back into second base, too, because now you got a 1-run ball game, and you don't want that man. He was tagging up at first base. You don't want to get him in the scoring position at second, so instead of trying to throw the ball home, which he had no chance, he goes to second and keeps the runner at first base now with a couple of outs in the inning.
It's a 1-run game here in the 7th inning, but there are 2 down now, as Robbie Ross will face Quinn for the first time today. Raymond Quinn, Ramon Quinn, Roman Quinn. I was getting closer by the name. I knew I'd get there eventually. Roman Quinn.
Yeah, they call him Quinny.
Just going to stick with Quinn, the center fielder. See his numbers here in the spring. And Ross gets a called strike there. So what are we saying? You can't put much gas in it? Is that the deal?
No, you can't. And when I get my expense report from spring training, I'm not kidding. I kid you not. To fill this car up costs like $20.
And you've done it 100 times. That's what they're going to get 100 little receipts from gas stations.
I'm there every other day. It's unbelievable. I've never been in a car.
Yeah, it's, you know what, they bring up a good point in the booth. It's a good thing that our guys in the control room are saying it's good that you don't have that app yet, because it would probably blow it up with all the gas.
I'm scared to death of that thing.
Yeah, it'd be good. All right, so we've taken care of that. I'll drive on Tuesday. And here, Robbie Ross trying to take care of Roman Quinn. Quinn was a 2nd-round pick by the Phillies back in 2011. Started last season in Double-A, and by the end of the year had made the call. Answered the call when he got the call from the Philadelphia Phillies. 14 major league starts, all in the outfield. And here, ground ball knocked down by the second baseman Meneses, but it scoots away from him. A hot shot past Ross, and 2 on with 2 outs in the 7th.
That's a rocket right back at Robbie Ross. Robbie Ross falling off toward the third base side, as you can see there, has to reach back across his body. He can't get it. And then Meneses, who was taking a couple of steps to his left, is able to at least get the glove on it and keep it from going into center field. That might have been a 1st and 3rd situation had he not been able to knock it down.
That'll bring up the new first baseman, Brock Stassi, for the first time today. 2011 draft pick, spent all of last season at AAA Lehigh Valley. Stassi in that mix with Coughlin and Daniel Nava for the final spot on the Phillies roster. Two 2-0 the count here. The left-handed hitting Brock Stassi. The count. Last year, Stassi was a first baseman and pitcher at AAA. Usually by AAA, you don't do a whole lot of both. As he takes a called strike here, made 4 relief appearances last year for Lehigh Valley, and in each of the last 4 seasons, he's made at least 1 appearance as a pitcher.
That's really strange. I wonder if those are cases where the game was completely, you know, a blowout or something like that. They were trying to save arms, which happens a lot at the minor league level, but that's a lot of games to be in as a pitcher.
In 2010 in college, pitching for the University of Nevada, Reno, he was first team pitcher, first team first baseman. So he was named to both the pitching staff and the defensive position.
Great athlete.
Runners go on the 3-2 pitch that he fouls off. "27 years old. Trying to hit his way onto the roster. Runners go again and again. He fouls it off the right field side. Hot shot into the crowd.
They got a breaking ball that time inside and just hooked it into that crowd down the first base side. Robbie Ross going into the 3-2 breaking ball to try to pick up the strikeout. Left it inside, and the result, the contact and foul.
Runners go again on the 3-2 pitch. This time Ross gets him. So Robbie Ross Jr. comes in, and inherited runners scores, but he strands 2, and we head to the bottom of the 7th. Red Sox lead by a run.
Get to Nissan.
Three to 2, Red Sox lead as they come to bat in the bottom of the 7th. This Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics tickets. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS to treat someone special to a game now. Third pitcher of the day For the Philadelphia Phillies, it is Joely Rodriguez, the left-handed pitcher, 25-year-old, as we said, one of the lefties, trying to make that bullpen last year. Started the season in Double-A, and by the end of the year, after transitioning to the bullpen, he made it to the big club and posted a 2.79 earned run average in 12 appearances with the Phillies.
See the numbers so far this spring, working in his 8th game. It's not uncommon. Usually relief pitchers get about 10 appearances during spring training.
Sandy Leon will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Red Sox. Leon 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs today. Rodriguez, one of those guys that they sent to the bullpen and kind of retool things a little bit, had him lower his arm slot. As you can see, kind of a 3/4 delivery now.
Yeah, that would be a little bit more difficult. Obviously, lefty against lefty, tougher to pick up from that arm angle than directly over the top.
At an average fastball velocity of 95.3 coming out of the pen. It was one of the highest in the National League last year. But he had to work towards it. They demoted him all the way to Single-A to learn how to pitch out of the bullpen and to learn that new arm angle, but it paid off as he made it up back onto the 40-man, then the 25-man roster in September, getting called up. Now they look at him as right in the mix for a left-handed relief spot. Just misses there. It's 1-2. Only 25 years old. Acquired in 2014 from Pittsburgh for Antonio Bastardo. Misses outside. 94-mile-an-hour fastball there.
Yeah, I can see the velocity, 94 that time on the fastball from that kind of, I guess, 3/4 delivery.
Two and two as Leon fouls it back. Thanks for joining us here on a Saturday afternoon. I know a little bit of snow in parts of New England, especially northern New England, rain throughout a lot of New England. So if you're staying inside today, we're getting you ready for the season ahead. Just 9 days until opening day. And Leon fouls it back again.
And the players have to be very excited about the time ticking down to opening day. They have been here an awful long time because of the WBC this year. An exceptionally long spring training. I think most players, in particular position players, feel they are ready to go. Almost any time at the start of the season.
Swing and a miss there. Leon goes down swinging. The first out of the inning, and Rodriguez retires the first batter he faces. We got a guest appearance today here, Jerry. The official scorer today is none other than John Shestakovsky, a longtime member of the Red Sox PR staff. He's hiding because I think he knew we were going to put him on TV.
Well, you know, he's also now working up at the Hall of Fame. And he's getting a text right now to say, you know, you're on TV.
So lean forward. There you go. Thank you, John. Well done. As he swings back into view. So, yeah, now as a part of the great Baseball Hall of Fame staff in Cooperstown, leading the idyllic life, Jerry, of the upstate New York.
He's the official scorer today?
Today.
Is he really?
He is.
I'm going to go rip.
Well, you were saying before there were a couple things you thought were errors. I noticed you were quiet to say that. See, now he figures we're getting on him because you go back on him for the third time, and he's like, oh, boy, they're not letting me go.
No, and, you know, the thing about Justin, if I rip him, I'm ripping the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you can't do that.
He's big up there.
And you don't want to lose any chance. I mean, you want to keep that Veterans Committee hope open. You want to just keep that door open a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. You
don't want to slam that door shut. But he does a great job now with the Hall of Fame. I know that he got to go to some of the World Baseball Classic games, you know, to round up some of the items from Team USA. And congratulations. I know you were very excited about Team USA winning the World Baseball Classic.
I was. You know, as I said, I didn't watch very much of it, probably not even an inning. But I was happy to see the USA win.
They'd never been to the finals, let alone winning, as Brock Holt.
Jim Leland, the manager of the USA team.
Yeah, he was pretty emotional after the game, talking about winning it for the USA. You know, the interesting thing of this year's World Baseball Classic to me is kind of the culture clash. How some of the U.S. players were still sort of calling out some of the Latin teams for their exuberant celebrations. And,
yeah.
You know, we're at a point in baseball where you wonder if some of that will start to come into play a little bit more. New school versus old school. You know, the Bautista bat flip. Kids like that stuff, Jerry.
Yeah, they do, and I've come to accept it as part of the game. You know, that certainly wasn't a part of the game when I played, but you have to change with the times. And personally, I think that any kind of excitement you can bring to the game of baseball is good.
That was Fernando Abad, who is up in the bullpen. He's back from his World Baseball Classic experience. And it's a full count now to Brock Holt.
See, these are the kind of things that the Phillies are looking at. You mentioned changing the arm angle, and we talked about how it might be tough on a left-handed hitter. Well, here's a left-handed hitter, Brock Holt. Run the count to 3-2. You know, can he put him away? That's what they're looking at.
Swing and a miss. He gets him. So back-to-back strikeouts for Rodriguez as he comes in here. The slider getting him.
Now, a little surprised that time. You know, you're sitting on but you're thinking about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Instead, you get a slider that stays inside. And that ball was supposed to be away. It wasn't the location they wanted that pitch, but they got the good result.
So 2 down, and Hiker Meneses taking the spot of Dustin Pedroia at the top. First pitch swinging. It's a ground ball to short, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rodriguez. We head to the 8th, and the Red Sox lead by a run here in Fort Myers. Red Sox leading 3-2 as we come back for the 8th inning here. New pitcher for the Red Sox, Fernando Abad, is on the mound. As we mentioned, he was part of the World Baseball Classic team from the Dominican Republic. This is his first appearance in a big league game for the Red Sox since coming back from the WBC. 4 appearances for the Dominican team, 2.1, 2 1/3 innings of work. Didn't give up any runs. got the win in their final victory. They beat Venezuela. Tyler Hill in left field here, and we've got a new catcher as well for you as Dan Butler is behind the plate. And he catches a strike one call from Abad. So there were some raised eyebrows, especially outside the organization, Jerry. You talked to scouts from other teams. They were surprised that Abad went to the World Baseball Classic because he's fighting for a job here in this Red Sox bullpen.
Yeah, I agree, but you know, it's awfully. I would find it awfully tough to turn down. I mean, I'm with you, TC. I think that you belong with the club that's paying you the money here in the United States. But when you're representing your country, it's kind of like the Olympics a little bit. And baseball's so big, obviously, in Dominican and Venezuela and Puerto Rico, and it's a big honor for them to play, and plus the crowds are wild. And
I know you didn't watch an inning. The game in Miami where the Dominican Republic beat the USA, and it was almost like a home game for the Dominican Republic. They had a ton of fans come to Miami for the game. That environment was unbeliphable.
Yes.
You've seen the Caribbean World Series over the year. Kind of had that feeling to it.
Sure, you're exactly right. It's kind of like a soccer match, isn't it? The enthusiasm of the crowd.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout here for Abad to begin the eighth. Hey, after the game, stay with us. The season finale of Nessa Next Producer. They're going to announce the 3 finalists, and they get to jump in with the Red Sox marketing department. Now, every year, if you pay attention to Red Sox coverage, early on, there's usually a major production, a commercial that's 60 or 90 seconds that the Red Sox do, and some of them have been unbelievable over the years, like going back to a Ted Williams swing to a David Ortiz swing, big productions like that. This one is popped back up. Butler can't get to it. So the finalists get announced today, and we'll give away a little something from that. What they get asked to do is to do their own version of those marketing campaigns. So it's pretty cool because they get to see what a Major League Baseball team does, what the Red Sox do to kind of begin marketing their team.
You think about an organization, any organization in baseball, obviously, and how much goes on, behind the scenes, behind what you see on the field, to make it a successful organization.
It's ground ball to short. Mike Miller up with it across the diamond, so 2 outs now in the 8th. So stay with us for that. It's right after our game today. Nessa Next Producer, the season finale, and you'll get to see the 3 finalists and their vignettes to get you ready for the upcoming Red Sox season. A season that is now only 9 days away.
Well, one way to get TC's vote, if you're one of the contestants, is market TC.
That's a sure way to not win Nessa Next Producer, is to show a bunch of me. That's not what they need. I was thinking they could. You want to do a great marketing campaign? They should have someone come with us to Bradenton next week in the car. That's where you'd get the real dirt.
You get all kind of stories going up there.
Hey, can you do that in the car on your Facebook Live?
Sure, why not?
Oh, there we go. We got to do some of that. Driving up to Bradenton.
Yeah.
On Nesson Minus.
Can I plug the phone in? Do you have a place in your car where I can plug the phone in?
I don't know. I think so. It's like it's got a USB port right in the car.
Yeah.
You can plug a cable in and do anything. You're on the internet.
So we can leave it on all the way up there.
I don't know if we want to leave it on all the way. Let's get the good stuff out of the way first. Okay, first 10 minutes, then we'll flip it on. That's Tuesday. Don't forget we're back with you tomorrow. I won't be here. Dave O'Brien, Jerry Remy will be calling the game tomorrow. Across town at Hammond Stadium. Big game in the Cup. Chairman's Cup. As a ground ball to Miller, he gets it across in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Fernando Abad. Middle of the 8th here at JetBlue, and the Red Sox holding on to a 1-run lead. 3-2 Red Sox leading here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jansen Whitty leading off. Whitty came in for Andrew Benintendi. No, he didn't. He's the third baseman, so he's taking a spot. See, that's what I've learned here at spring training, too. I've become a spring training veteran now after 2 years. You don't write in the replacements because they might not bat.
Not till they come to the plate.
Took me a while to figure that out.
Actually, as a veteran of spring training, most of the time I don't even know who's in the game from the 7th to the 9th.
Yeah, some dude, I was calling him the other day. Some dude out there making the catch. By the way, John Shestakowski just came by and said thanks, and said, indeed, you have ruined your chances at the Hall of Fame.
They were ruined a long time ago.
Ground ball to third.
Whoa.
High throw, but he got back down in time to make the out. So in a regular season game, you go to replay, but there is no review here in spring training. So they say Stassi got down in time to tag the bag before Whitty got there.
Yeah, Blanco, you could see that ball really take off when he let it go at third base, but a nice play by Stassi at first base as he jumps and is somehow able to get back down in that bag before Whitty gets there. Whitty busting it hard down the line as the jump. And I think that would have been replayed during the regular season and probably would have gone the other way.
But this is spring training, and we keep moving with one down now in the bottom of the 8th. Tate Matheny at the plate last year, made it to high A Greenville, hit .277 for the drive. Actually, that's not high A. Salem is high A, so made it to single A Greenville. Season before, he was in short season Lowell after playing in Missouri State. Again, son of Cardinals manager Mike Matheny, originally drafted by the Cardinals. The 23rd round of the 2012 draft, but did not sign, then signed by the Red Sox in the 4th round of the 2015 draft. Matheny's been in 5 different games prior to today. This is his 4th at-bat with the big club. One of the nice moves is they had him in there when St. Louis was in town.
Of course, yeah.
His dad got to see him play. Oh, 2 pitch from Rodriguez. Swing and a miss there, and Matheny will get thrown out as the catcher guns him down for the strikeout in the 2nd out of the 8th inning. Nesson Sports Today has you covered for all the top stories and highlights on the Red Sox Grapefruit League games as the Sox get ready for the regular season. Red Sox spring training coverage is presented by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. And we've got a pinch hitter here, or a new designated hitter for Hanley Ramirez. This will be Danny Bethea. Danny Bethea, you see his minor league career numbers. He is a catcher. And he swings at this one and fouls it high up on the right field side. It'll fall into the seats.
Well, we talked last inning. You did. You brought up Rodriguez and changing that arm angle, and so far it has been very effective for him here, which the Phillies have to be very happy about. Has not given up a hit.
No playing in the building.
Danny Bethea, drafted in 2013, made it to Double-A Portland last season as a catcher. Got 1 game with the Paw Sox. Spent the majority of the season with the Sea Dogs.
You ready? You ready for him? Here he is.
2-2 the count now. 2 down here in the 8th.
We're gonna.
By the way, we've got more on that developing story up in Port Charlotte. Rusney Castillo with an RBI. 5-3 now. Leading the Tampa Bay Rays. Castillo's had a good camp. He's hitting like 340. That is the last split squad game of spring training. As Bethea slaps one in the left field, that's a base hit. Rounding first, but they'll go back with a 2-out single here in the 8th.
Nice job there by Bethea as that ball was down, and it looked like down and in, and he had to go probably out of the strike zone there to make contact on that. Let's take a look at the location of the pitch. It is a breaking ball, and you can see it's down almost below the knees, and he's able to hook that ball down that left field line to pick up the base hit. Nicely played out there by Coughlin.
And here's Alan Craig with 2 down and a man on now in the 8th inning. Craig came in relief of Mitch Moreland. First pitch swinging, and it's 0-1. Craig hitting .256 here in spring training. So PS of .699, has a homer, 6 RBI. Ground ball to short. They get the force. And we head to the 9th with the Red Sox leading 3-2 here at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. It is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. By Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep its promises. And by Bob's Discount Furniture. Ninth inning here at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Red Sox take a 3-2 lead into the 9th, and that'll bring up the 4th pitcher of the day for the Red Sox, Robbie Scott, the lefty. Trying to nail down the win. Scott appearing in his 10th spring training game. And if you include the exhibition against Team USA, which doesn't appear there, he's appeared in 10 games and has yet to give up a run. And we talked about Abad battling for a left-handed spot out of the bullpen. Abad is battling Robbie Scott and Edgar Olmos. But Scott's made it interesting because he has been one of the bright spots of camp, Jerry.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, he's had a couple of outings that have been a little bit iffy, you know, letting some men on base, but he's been able to get out of trouble.
And he starts out by giving up a base hit here to Florimon to lead off the 9th. So tying run aboard here in the 9th inning for the Phillies.
Yeah, this shouldn't set back Robbie Scott at all because he's been in these kind of situations where men have been on base, so they just haven't been able to score against him.
Yeah, John Farrell said it's kind of been self-inflicted, but he's able to bow his neck and get out of it.
That time a fastball right down the middle on the hard line drive. Down to one knee goes Hill.
And that'll bring up Brian Holiday. He's 2 for 3 on the afternoon, couple of doubles. Don't forget, Nessa next producer coming up right after the final out of the game. Season finale. As the 3 finalists get to take part in a Red Sox marketing effort. Also a cool look into how marketing departments operate coming into the season. You'll see top marketing executives from the Red Sox being a part of this. It's all coming up on Nessa Next Producer right after the game today. 3-2 Red Sox here in the 9th. Abad looks in, Holiday swings, and he fouls it off. Told you this is our last broadcast from JetBlue Park. 2 more games here. Next Wednesday and Thursday, the Red Sox will be home. Thursday, the final game in Florida. And the start of 3 straight games against the Washington Nationals in 3 very different locations. Florida, Washington, D.C., and then on the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis.
And you'll have the pleasure of being there for that game.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're doing it'll be an interesting production along with the folks from the Nationals, kind of a team broadcast. So I don't get you, I'll get FB Santangelo, who's their broadcast analyst. Looking forward to that. About 1,500 fans in all. That's as big as Max Bishop Stadium is. Holiday staying alive in the 0-2 pitch. He fouls it off. It's great to have you back, Jerry. I want to say again before we wrap it up, nice to have you back doing Red Sox baseball.
Well, Tom, you have no idea how happy I am to be back, and been a pleasure working today with you. Get my feet wet a little bit.
Dave O'Brien back with you tomorrow. I'm like the guy who comes out before the real host of a show, you know, the comedian who comes out to get the crowd working. And then here's the star of the show, David Letterman. I'm that guy. Scott gets the called strike. Strikes out Holiday for the first out of the 9th.
Now, Holiday's had a good day. 2 hits in the game, couple of doubles, and then the last 2 times up a fly out and down the strikeout by Robbie Scott. He drops down to the side, similar to Rodriguez for the Phillies. And that time picks up the inside corner for the strikeout.
So 1 on, 1 out. Valentin at the plate. There's a line drive, rising ball to the wall in left center, played by Monge in center. They're sending the runner. No, they hold him, and wisely so, as Miller came out and was ready to turn on the relay. But with only 1 out, they hold Florimon up at third base.
I was watching the third base coach. He was waving him on to score, and then all of a sudden put the brakes on coming around third base. This ball finds the gap and all the way to the left field wall. Nicely played out there in center field. Quickly gets it back in. And the runner at third base, he was certainly waving him on. I'm not sure if he stopped on his own or if he stopped because the coach put up the sign to stop. But originally he was waving him home.
But a good throw would have had him.
It probably would have.
At least it looked that way from when Miller got it. Again, if he hadn't slowed down, maybe he would have been halfway home. I don't know.
Well, the Red Sox bring the infield in now, with that potentially being the tying run.
And we're going to see it here for the first time. I think they're going to intentionally walk the hitter. No, I'm wrong. I thought I saw a sign coming from the dugout. They do not. Up to load the bases here. And it's ball 1. You know, this year, the first time, right? They don't have to throw the 4 pitches on an intentional walk. They just signal for the ump. And I thought I saw John Farrell, but he was actually just aligning the defense, the coaches were. One would think in a regular season game, you'd be walking Coughlin here to load the bases. And he takes a called strike here. 1-1 the count. Coughlin 0 for 4, but the sacrifice fly in the 7th made it a 1-run game. Red Sox have been out hit 12-6 this afternoon, but they lead 3-2 with one out in the ninth. The 1-1 from Scott. Just misses on the outside corner. That was close.
It'll be interesting here to see if the Phillies push the envelope with the man at second and third, have that runner at third go on contact, and try to tie this ball game up.
Fouled off, and now it's a 2-2 count.
I'd like to throw another one like that, a breaking ball, but a little bit more outside, but another 4 or 5 inches outside, you probably got a swing and miss.
Sellout crowd here at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers coming to life. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Coughlin. Scott delivers, and it's slapped just foul on the right field line.
Well, he did try to go away that time again with the breaking ball, but that time Coughlin able to hook it. Fortunately for the Red Sox, going in foul territory. Trying to protect that outside corner.
Kyle Kendrick began the day, the start of the Red Sox, pitched into the 7th inning, 95 pitches, struck out 6, gave up just 1 run. This one is a high fly ball to left field. Tyler Hill is there. He drops the ball. And everybody's safe. Tie game here in the ninth.
You have to feel for him. I mean, that's just a routine fly ball, and what he's trying to do is get himself in position to make a throw home, because he knows the runner's going to tag. I mean, he's got a routine fly ball. He's trying to get his body in position to make a throw home. Watch him right here as he tries to get momentum coming back in and just takes his eye off the baseball right there. He's looking at the runner, not at the ball going into his glove. And this game is tied up.
Tyler Hill, who was in short season Lowell last season after coming out of the Delaware Military Academy, knew he would need his absolute best throw to try to get the tying run at the plate. As you said, was looking in at the runner at the last moment. The ball falls, and now you've got men on the corners and a tie game. First run allowed by Scott this spring. And facing Quinn for the second time, or first time Scott faces him, second time Quinn comes to the plate. It's ball 1.
See, Red Sox middle infield is not completely in. They are in shallow, but not completely in. They have the option to either go to home plate, but if they feel they can get a double play, get the double play.
Runner breaking for home on the bunt. It is popped up, and Craig comes in to make the catch. So they try the squeeze, and instead it's a pop out for the second out of the ninth.
I don't like that. I mean, you've got the Red Sox reeling a little bit, and you've got the lefty facing the righty, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, and he just pops up the bunt. Nice play by Alan Craig at first base. I think that's kind of a gift right there for the Red Sox.
So Valentin stays at third base. And that'll bring up Brock Stassi with 2 outs in the ninth. In a tie game, the Phillies have tied it up with solo runs in the 7th and 1 now here in the ninth. Strike 1 call to Stassi.
You know, if you're going to do that, if you're going to try a squeeze play here, you might as well try a double steal to get the run home now. You got lefty against lefty. Make the runner at first base go, send that runner to third, and see if the Red Sox can throw him out at home.
Runners stay. Good block back there by Dan Butler. Tried to hold up. He did. Crowd doesn't like it here at JetBlue Park.
Take a look from the side. Did he go? I don't think he did.
Good job by Stasi. Struck out in his first at-bat. Facing Robbie Ross at the time, missing outside, and now it's 3-1. Go-ahead run 90 feet away. Valentin at third, Coughlin at first. 2 down for Stasi and a 3-1 count. Called strike on the outside corner, so now it's 3-2.
Craig will back off at first base with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Obviously does not have to hold the runner on. Trying to increase his range a little bit in this count.
Here's the 3-2. Runner goes. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Stasi 2 years ago led the Eastern League with 90 RBI for the Reading Phillies. And it goes again, and here's a high chopper to second base. Got to make a quick throw, and he does to end the inning. But the Phillies tie it up on 2 hits, and the Red Sox come to bat at the bottom of the ninth, now in a 3-3 game. Sox coming up in the bottom of the ninth, with the game tied at 3. Wally the Green Monster springs to life in an animated special Wally's opening day with humor the whole family can enjoy. Find out if Wally can get Fenway Park ready for opening day on Wally's opening day that premieres Sunday, April 2nd at 5 on Nesson. Bottom of the ninth, drama here in Grapefruit League play. Mike Miller trying to send everybody home happy as he faces Colton Murray, the 26-year-old righty, an 11th round pick out of the University of Kansas. 24 relief appearances with Philadelphia last year. 6.25 earned run average. And Mike Miller grounds to short. Florimon is there. 1 out here in the 9th. Let's go down to Garen Austin with more on Kyle Kendrick. Garen. Having technical difficulties. So we'll keep it here as Colton Murray retires Mike Miller to begin the game, to begin the 89th inning here. And that'll bring up Monge, the outfielder who came in. Joseph Monge, born in the Bronx, New York. Puerto Rican descent, lives in Puerto Rico in the offseason, made high A Salem last season, hit .274 for the Salem Red Sox.
So you know.
Oh, 1 count to Monge. And it's 1-1. Red Sox led this 3-1 after 4 innings of play, but the Phillies battled back. So a run in the 7th and another in the 9th. Fouls it off.
That fastball velocity right now about 94, 95 miles an hour from Murray. Also threw a very hard breaking ball.
Fastball command has been the issue for Murray. They say he's got the velocity to succeed. Just misses there on the breaking ball. Red Sox been out hit 12-6. All tied up at 3 apiece. Here in the bottom of the 9th, swing and a miss. And there's 2 outs now.
That's a breaking ball we were talking about. He goes from a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to that curveball that's down and out of the strike zone and picks up the strikeout.
By the way, I want to correct myself. It's Monhay, not that, which makes sense. The G is not pronounced. So Joseph Monhay, who came in. Now Dan Butler, the catcher, with 2 outs in the 9th. I'll be perfectly honest with you, Jerry. I have no idea if they'll play a 10th inning.
Well, it's going to have to be the same pitcher come out because nobody's listening in the Red Sox bullpen or the bullpen for the Phillies. And we don't know in spring training. You just don't know.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Here's a long fly ball to center field as Butler sends this one to center field, and it's caught there by Quinn to end the inning. So it is 3-3 after 9. And it looks like we're over as the 2 teams start to clear out, right? Would you agree with that assessment, Jerry?
Yes, no Red Sox is taking the field.
Well, the good news here, Jerry, is this leaves them at 500. You know, they came into the game 13-13-2.
It's like hockey.
Everybody goes home happy after a 3-3 tie. 3-3, the final score. Will come back and wrap it up in a moment here in Fort Myers.